Welcome. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and I am happy to be of service to you today. Today is, let's see here, it's May 19th, 2012, 10 a.m. Pacific time, and this is the pilot show to introduce the world. That's right, the world premiere to the 90 Degree Show.
You're now here with the Marching Podcast, and actually a really exciting guest today. Really good conversation I know we're going to have. Mr. Willie Snipes Jr., band director at Miles College. What's going on today, sir? And then you guys will hear and get a little introduction from both Andy and Diamond. And then after you find that out, we will find out where they will go to school. All right, and hey, the suspense is killing me. You know what I'm saying? You're now here with the Marching Podcast and another great guest, outstanding guest, really outstanding interview. I already know we hadn't even started it, but really pleased to have Mr. Gregory Drain. How you doing today, sir?
504 area code. Go ahead and give us your name and tell us your experience of what happened at the game yesterday.
Garrett Edson, a.k.a. the Edgeworth Production.
What's up, Garrett? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing all right, man. Appreciate all the good video that we checking out online. So what was your experience from the game this weekend, man?
Game-wise, it was good. I enjoyed seeing my football team finally win a game this year.
Right.
It felt good to see that.
My experience this weekend was a wonderful opportunity to meet all of my old college Boom members and to meet other members that I never had an opportunity to meet. It was a great, heartfelt, loving, caring group gathering of people that had the same interests and likes and needs and concerns who all love the Boom. I had a great time.
That's outstanding. Now, what's your name and where are you from?
My name is Derulican Wells, and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay, all right. And what years, if you don't mind me asking, if you did you march with the Boom?
I don't mind. I started marching in the Boom in the fall of 1979.
We're going to go ahead and bring in our experts. Rashad, are you on the line?
Yeah, man. I'm right here. Man, how you not know that 2 Chainz fans from watching? Where you been?
Man, I know. I need to get with it. That's what I can't. I ain't even have an excuse for that, man.
I also like to say, Joe, I think what you're doing is great, putting a spotlight on these young students and their decision to march in band in college, or participate in band in college. I think it's great. You should have a nationally televised show. It should be on television. It should be just as big as the football signing day. So, big ups to you, my brother.
If you came to Jackson State during a period of time right after I left in '66, more than likely you heard some of the great sounds of that 1966 band. Outstanding group.
Actually, I came in '72. The 66 years I was at a junior high school.
Oh,
I was a freshman in '72. I did experience, though, Prof. Davis. I was his student before he retired from the band scene. And it was a memorable experience. I was very familiar with that band. It had the big band jazz type sound because that was Prof's background. He actually played with Cass Calloway.
Welcome back, everyone. Really like that promo. Really excited about the promo. Really excited about the 2017 season here on the Marching Podcast Network. Thank you so much for enjoying, and thank you so much for listening. This is Joe Beard, of course, your host, owner, founder of the Marching Podcast. Really appreciate all the support. We actually going somewhere, a little somewhere. So we got studio equipment, we got other updates to let you guys know about. But welcome to the 2017 off season, where I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a teaser about what's coming up in the off season and, of course, what to expect in this upcoming fall. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of the taste of the teaser that we have here on the network of all of some of the podcasts that we've done in the past. So shout out to everyone, and shout out to you for listening, and thank you so much for your very much support. I would like to say welcome again. Shout out to, first, let me just say shout out to Kathleen Hewer, where I got the idea to do the promo teaser podcast here. I had been out of the mix for a little while, and I definitely understand now having your own equipment and what that means and how different that is for the podcast. I saw that she was putting some things together, and it was taking her a long time to do some of the podcasts. And she came out with the little teaser, and so I was like, you know what, that is a great idea. So also, this is a little bit of me also giving props to so many of those people that I've worked with a little bit so much up until this point. I'm still working on the studio audience here. Studio audience much more active nowadays. You'll be hearing from the studio audience a little bit more. Thanks again for all of the help. I'm happy to say that one of the reasons why I was stepped away from the Marching Podcast so long is that I received a promotion at my job. So thank you. Really excited about my promotion. I am, of course, All right, guys. Thank you. I am a software engineer out here in California, and now some of my responsibilities now include what we have as localized setups. What that basically is we make our software in other languages other than English. I'm responsible for the English part of our software. Well, now, since we're expanding out globally, I will be now also in charge of 12 different languages that we translate our software in. So adding more responsibility to me, but they said that I can tell my folks that I have a promotion. So I definitely want to do that, make sure I do that. Thank you. Thank you to you. Thanks to my parents. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to that great HBCU education. I'll be attending a conference in San Francisco this fall, and it'll be the first time that my current job, been there 11 years now, first time they're actually investing in me leaving the campus. So again, shout out to the good old HBCU education, shouts to the family, friend support system making this all possible. I stepped away, and now I'm ready to get back to the network and producing these podcasts and providing light for our young people, all right? So it's a celebration. Why don't we just get another round of applause from our studio audience? First order of business would be actually to talk about the studio audience. You've heard them before in and out on some of the podcasts. I try to coordinate that here and there, what people are saying, but I got a little bit more updates here and some things where I can roll it out a little bit easier. So you will be hearing more and more from the studio audience when we'll be doing our recording. The Marching Podcast is growing, and now we're providing the opportunity for folks to attend our recording and be a part of our live studio audience. That is correct. Be a part. Come check us out. Come listen. Come see us record and do our thing. Really excited about that. But you also may hear, yes, you may hear the hate. Sometimes folks say things that, and they can be nasty sometimes too. So you gotta watch the studio audience now. Don't tick them off too much, because they'll be here. So live studio audience, there you go. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Two Live Stews, two brothers out of Atlanta. I think both of them are from South Carolina, but part of ESPN First Take, where I first met them, or not met them, but I first heard about them. And shout out to them. I always listen to their show. They had a live show on an Atlanta radio station for a while, and now one of the brothers does his own show on Spreaker. So I found him. I was really, really devastated that they were off the air for so long, but now they're back essentially. Well, one of the brothers is back, and I'm really excited to hear from him. But a lot of the ideas and a lot of the things I get from him. So I wanted to give the Two Lives Crews a shout out, and thank you very much for the things that you do, giving me some pretty good ideas to use here for this podcast. So shout out to you for that. Moving right. And both of them. How can I forget? And they the bros. Both are Mega Man, and both are Prince Hall Mason affiliates. So shout out to Root to the Bros. Shout out Christy the Bros, if you're listening. We opened the 2017 offseason with the interview podcast, Chopping It Up. You guys will hear from some great people this year. Now we've got a little clout here with who we are and who we're working with. So we're working with more people. You will hear from some people. I have to give another shout out because we did this interview a while ago and I wanted to put it out by now. But shout out to Mr. William Lane, a.k.a. Bob Lane, who I was really excited to talk to. We talked last year because we found out there's going to be a National Marching Band Championships, and we were able to talk to the coordinator of the event. So we sat down and chopped it up, and he told us all the ins and outs and the details of what's going down this year, this December, in Columbia, South Carolina. Shout out to Little Trump Funk, Elijah Thompson. Just finished marching this year. We talked at the end of last year. Didn't get a chance to put out his, but now this is a good thing. He's been doing some updates and some traveling, if you will. I don't want to ruin the interview, but he's got some stuff that he's been doing since I talked to him. I'm like, man, we need to put this in the interview. So you'll be talking to him. So shout out to those two, among others, because we've got it in the can, so to speak. We just need to put it out there. When we get the big contract for our podcast, I'm taking you both out to dinner. All right? Taking you both out to dinner to my favorite place here in town, Mr. Taco. Mr. Taco is the bomb. I really enjoy it. Hold up now. Mr. Taco is the bomb, y'all. Y'all just studio audience, they don't know what they're talking about just yet. But Mr. Taco is the bomb. There's also Taco Shack in town. Maybe we'll find a nice restaurant for you guys. Yeah, that's what I thought. Shout out to you guys for waiting this long about those interviews. I promise I'm getting on it as soon as possible, okay? This year, we're going to be starting our 2.0 interviews. What that is why I'm calling it 2.0. We're going to check in and talk to people that we've already talked to and we've already done a Chopping It Up episode with to get an update on how they were doing. A lot of good people that we talked to, and a lot of people are still doing great things and achieve some good things. Shout out to my cousin David Thompson, who's doing really big things. You know, he's the owner there of Liquid Effects Photography, and you've heard his voice here and there on the network. He did something really, really special that I'm really proud of, so I know we want to talk to him. And his son is actually going through some really good positive things, too. So we may get a little taste of that as well. Some of the interviews didn't go how I wanted them to go live. And that's how it is with live broadcasting sometimes. But these are also folks we want to do for the 2.0 interview. Most notably, Gregory Drain, director of athletic bands at Penn State. And also Kathleen Hewer from Marketing Music Education. Brother Drain, another Omega Man, the Bros, Christy, just in case you listened to Bros. We did his show. We were doing it with Blog Talk Radio, and they did this new live thing where it was supposed to be so much better with the sound quality and the audio. It did not work out for me very well at all, and I couldn't hear myself over the music. So I didn't really like how that went. The interview was good, but just the presentation, if you will, we want to change. Brother Drain was directing the national anthem for the Rose Bowl this past year. I was really proud. But real talk, they could have gave him a close-up. You know, they could have showed his face. They were showing all these people, man, but, you know, they gave him a close-up. Yeah, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Could have gave him a close-up so we could have saw his face. But nonetheless, we all knew who he is. And, well, the important people know. So we were really excited about that. Kathleen Hewer, I already gave her a shout-out already in this podcast. She's done so much in helping me with just running the business, if you will. With her, at the end of her interview where I get back and talk, say something before we play the sponsors for the last time, my mic went out. And I could have saved the day by unplugging it and plugging it back in. But I pretty much did the show by myself, just talking to myself. Yes, well, I wasn't trying to be funny right there. I was the truth. I even made a good joke about Lou Henson. You guys know Kathleen went to University of Illinois, and that was, you know, the Fighting Illini back during the 90s or late 80s and 90s with Lou Henson was the coach with Kendall Gill and all those boys. You remember he had the comb over thing? You know what I mean? So I had a really good joke about that, and I knew Kathleen was going to find it funny, but I'm like talking to myself. No one heard anything, so it was dead silence. So we want to make sure we get that interview over as well. Now we have our own digs. We can make sure we got the quality product before it hits the air. So we're really excited about making that right and making those 2.0 interviews here on the Marching Podcast Network so you guys can get all the updates. We'll be doing the recording for National Signing Day 2017 this week, and it will be released at the end of the month. We have our students for this year and excited about them telling the world where they will march this fall, 2017. Shout out to the 2016 class of Andy Maria, Diamond Frazier, and our inaugural scholar from 2015, Manuel Powell. Shout out to those folks. Shout out to those students. They are all doing well in school, and we will keep you up to date with them this year as well. Spoke to Dr. Kevin Davenport this year about the Director Series, and he has a new position and a new greeting brown for HBCUs. So, again, I will not ruin that, and I will let him tell you all about that. Don't want to ruin the teaser for his interview and his podcast, but really happy for him and what he's doing, and we'll be highlighting his services again this year in the offseason. So keep tuned to the network for the 2017 Director Series. Other than that, you guys know it will be August before you know it, and we'll be ready to kick off the 90 Degree Show for our 6th season. This year will be more consistent, and we won't skip weeks this time. It will release during the week, and will be the gang from last year, Bridget, Rashad, and Christy. Tentatively, I have not spoken to ask if they can do the show. I'm just kind of assuming that they're going to do it because, you know, they're so cool and everything. Well, I didn't mean any disrespect. I'm just saying, you know, they cool. I don't want to invade on the lives. You know what I'm saying? Man, y'all let a brother speak. You know what I'm saying? If you like to be on the show or attended a game still, as usual, and want to express yourself, hit us up and be ready on that Sunday after the game, and we'll get on Skype and we will record the show. Okay? So check us out next week when we launch Chopping It Up in the 2017 offseason with an exciting interview. Following week, we'll drop our most gracious podcast, the National Signing Day, where we introduce our 2017 scholarship recipients. Don't forget you can be a sponsor to the network and help contribute to our scholarship class by contacting us, and we'll give you the details. We've come to the end of our podcast teaser. Make sure to check out the website, themarchingpodcast.com. Tweet us at marchingpodcast. Follow our blog, blog4.themarchingpodcast.com. Follow us on our iTunes page, and make sure to write us a review on iTunes. Thank you for listening. Remember, the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. See you next time.